Everybody here, whether we have what we consider to be the perfect family or not, we all got issues, right? At the end of the day, every family has problems. And so I can identify with her on so many levels, and it broke my heart to see her in the position that she's in, but it brings me a lot of joy to know that there's folks on the outside fighting for her when she cannot fight for herself. The absolute most precious gift we can give to anybody is the gift of hope. And so the first thing I get to do is I get to read a letter that also includes a poem that Keiana wrote. It's not much different than my story. I purposefully did not read it because I wanted to come and share raw emotion. I didn't want to rehearse it before I got here. What you guys didn't know is as you were planning this event, I do spoken word. I just haven't been on the scene in like 2 years because I've been so busy with activism. So I actually brought my own spoken word piece that I'll do after this, but I want to give Keiana the respect of sharing her story first. So she says, this is the one for the coffee shop. And it's a future that awaits. Hey everyone, if no one knows about me, I'm Keiana. I'm 19 and I'm locked up in prison, currently incarcerated. I do have a term of 9 years and 8 months, but have been down for 3 years, almost 4. I've been through so much in my short life, so a short story. I was born in Oroville, California, but shortly thereafter grew up in Sacramento, California. I moved there when I was about 9, I believe. I was doing good in grade school, but once I got to high school and middle school, my whole life hit a rock. It was also a time when my mom became a part of an abusive relationship, so that hit me and my brothers and my sisters. It was like she let these men control her life, and I just couldn't do anything about it. It's my story too. It's funny. I was young and just stayed back and watched and listened, screamed and yelled, but once I got very sick of it, I just cussed and yelled, "Leave my mom alone." But that didn't matter because she was right back with the man who had just beat on her. So I stopped caring then at 12. Can you imagine what it's like to stop caring at 12? I want you to think about a time in your life when you lost hope. Imagine being 12 years old and carrying that emotion, that burden, right? When I was 12, I stopped caring and I really hit rock bottom. I didn't want to be in the world anymore. I said, whatever, screw everyone, and tried to kill myself. This left me in a mental hospital at 12. With no support, and over, I wanted to die. I shouted at myself and cried above, saying, why? Asking for help over and over. I told myself I couldn't do it anymore. So the suicide attempts led to running away. And I was just selfish. I didn't think about leaving my family, but I also couldn't deal with it anymore. So that running away came with a price. That's when I got into a self-depriving, destructing thing called prostitution. I decided it would help me financially and help me find someone to love me and keep a 13-year-old girl company. What 13-year-old girl could do that to herself? What 13-year-old girl would want love from men who are old enough to be her father? Okay, pause. I did forget to tell you, I was molested by my father at 5 years old. So maybe that is why someone so young but so mature in the mind would want someone. I mean, I'm still trying to figure that out for myself. So I was running away, being prostituted, living the life I imagined, but not how a child should. I never really had a childhood. I never acted like my own age. I'm 19 and people think I'm in my 30s. I go into juvenile hall once a month and I ask the babies when I go in and say, how old are you? And they'll tell me how old they actually are biologically. And then I say, how old do you feel? And I listen to them add 20 years to their lives. Because there are things that they've experienced that people in this room couldn't even imagine. Stuff that they choose not to talk about because just talking about it brings them back to that place of abuse, right? So, she said she never really had a childhood. People thought she was in her 30s. People think she's in her 30s now and she's 19. So my brothers and sisters, they looked up to me as mommy, and I felt I let them down. Other than when I cooked for them and cleaned and felt like a mom, which sucks that I feel like I'm letting them down. What I want to say is there are people like me who are stuck in the past and don't know how to let it go. But with the help of God and family and sponsors, and of course you all who want to help, I would be honored. I really want to let all of you know that we may not understand at first, but once you really realize that this is real, human trafficking is real and it happens. I'm very grateful I'm here today. Sex trafficking is not something we want, sometimes not even choose, but we do it. We do run from something that is hurting us. My point of view today, I'm hurt, I'm scared, I feel worthless, sick to my stomach, but deep down, day by day, I'm helping others and myself. I hope I can get out as much information to all who hear this story. So, truth is, life in prison sucks. It's actually not what I imagined. I try to stick to myself quite hard when people try to provoke you into fighting, drugs, and drama. Family isn't there for you. As you would like for them to be. As you all know, Samantha and Janice are two of my mentors' friends. They are helping me share and make my story public as possible. And they can, as they can. They're amazing and I thank them. Also my godmom, Peggy, who is the biggest person I've looked up to in my life. She has done wonders and has helped me with whatever I need. She is truly my heart. I love her and I'm thankful she's my mom. And for all of you who have helped me, thank you so much. So here's a poem she wrote. She said, there's a little girl who wants to hide. She sees the pain and tends to cry. Suicide was the option. Then she met the mirror and didn't even care. She knew it was fear. She thought she could cope. Then she awoke looking in a mirror. There was no fear. She started to learn, decided to turn. She looked above and knew who to love. With her life today, she learns to stay. So she has one more thing to say. She says, back to a short thing I would like to say. The main thing is I have so many things I want to do to help other people. It's not just me who needs help, but I believe if I can help myself, people, kids, girls, boys will learn and know that there's hope for a better world and future. No one needs to fail. Me, I did once, but knowing where it got me was the biggest outlook and break in my life. This right here, this place I'm at right here is one big pause. I'm hoping others will understand who I am and who I want to be. I have a lot of future that awaits me. And even though you're free, there may be a time you feel overwhelmed and imprisoned like me. I was locked up way before I ever stepped foot in the prison system or juvenile hall. But there's a reason I'm here today. To share to those who don't get it and who need that type of person in life. I'm that person. I'm thankful I have a chance to do what God has called me to do. There will be justice and a special miracle. And you will all be there to watch. I thank you for your supports and being a fan. Thank you, lots of love. Hashtag Keiana can make a difference.
Yeah!
Wow. All right. So you know what? I mean, literally.
Can I just say one thing?
Sure, go ahead.
I just need you guys to understand. A year ago, she was hopeless, and now she's inspiring us, me. She got me off my butt. I'm like, I gotta do something for this girl. She's inspiring other people, and we all can do that. So I don't want to steal the light from my girl here, but. I just love my Keiana. I love her like you, too. Like, I have that same affection, even though you're like her bigger sister. So, I love you. Tell it, girl.
All right. So, yeah, so I don't even really have to share my story, my personal story, quite frankly, because it's almost identical to Keiana's. I'm just fortunate that I didn't end up in prison. I was arrested 9 times under different names. Ran away from home. Was exploited from 14 to 18. And I've spent the last 13 years, March 3rd, it'll be 13 years that I've been out, and I've spent the last 13 years. Thank you. I've spent the last 13 years learning who I really am, not the lie I came to believe about myself. So this poem is called Modern Day Slavery, and I'm just going to share it.